So we are 3 weeks into my last semester at MIT, and it turns out that I don't have one of my two communication requirements for my CS degree. So today, I filled out a petition and sent it to my advisor for approval to hopefully substitute another class in its place. At this point though, senioritis has never hit harder, and I will not be adding any new classes. If anything, I'll be dropping some, so if this petition doesn't go through, I will be leaving MIT without my CS degree. So fingers crossed that it goes through, but until my advisor and the registrar approve it, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I hate this f***ing place, or IHTFP for short. The acronym every MIT student learns within their first couple of days here. When I first got into MIT, I never imagined that this would be what I'd be thinking to myself almost every single day. In high school, I pictured MIT as the perfect place, full of hardworking, passionate students, in an incredible city with endless things to explore. And sure, all of that is still true. But it also comes with the monumental task of juggling endless hours of schoolwork, friendships, clubs, and your mental and physical health. For a while, it was unmanageable for me. I was struggling with school and was constantly exhausted. I remember the all-nighters I'd pull from my CS labs in a library, only to fail the hidden test cases anyway. Or the math P-sets I'd finally abandon at 6 a.m. after hours of frustration. Every day felt like a series of agonizing choices. Finish that assignment, or go out to dinner with friends. Study for an exam, or get the sleep you've so desperately needed all week. After working so hard to become the smart and accomplished kid for much of my life, MIT left me feeling isolated and overwhelmed. Even though for the first time, I felt like I was finally surrounded by people that were just as driven and curious as me. It's a tale as old as time. A small town kid goes from being a big fish in a small pond to a tiny one in a vast ocean. But at some point, I realized that going to MIT wasn't about growing to become the biggest fish. It was about learning how to swim through the waves. And somewhere between working, eating, and sleeping while swimming through it all, everything flew by in the blink of an eye. So I just got an email from the SOCR saying that my communication requirement petition has an update. So I'm going to check the email and hopefully it's good news. Let's go! Let's go, let's go. We're graduating with a CS degree. Nice. It's interesting how time flies past. On a day-to-day level, MIT feels painfully slow. You're constantly juggling work, staring at your code for hours trying to debug it, or going to some 10 a.m. club meeting on a Saturday because it's the only time that everyone's free. We fall into boring routines, and somehow, before we even realize it, days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and months turn into entire school years. I've always been scared of change. But ironically, the thing that feels the most special to me about college is the fact that everything changes so quickly. Within you, as you figure out what you enjoy and what you don't, and all around you, as upperclassmen graduate, new faces arrive, and each semester gives you a fresh start from the last. Looking back, the way I learned to swim was by trying to do everything. I found unexpected hobbies, joining an a cappella group for fun, even though I'd only ever really sung in the shower before college, and starting to make YouTube videos just to document life with friends. I also did a lot of really dumb stuff, like visiting a bunch of colleges in one day during 90-degree weather, or convincing people to dress up as cones with me on the Harvard Bridge. There's comfort in knowing that no matter how bad your grades, sleep schedule, or time management get, everything just kind of resets in a few months anyway. And because of that, you should push the limits of what you can do, knowing that trying and failing isn't the end of the world, but maybe just the end of a semester. Maybe that got me into this situation. Senior spring, waiting on a petition that's now out of my control after procrastinating for months. But I do it again, because even though time flies, the memories you make from it are truly what last forever. Alright, it's May 1st now, new month. So it's been roughly 2 months since my communication requirement petition was reviewed and approved by the department. I'm looking at my graduation requirements right now and it's still not populating in there. So I'm currently still not on track to graduate, but you know, at this point we're just gonna wait. We still got a month left, so hopefully things will be alright. I humbly trust the faculty with my petition. Sorry, this one isn't very good. At the time of writing this, my petition has yet to populate in my academic record, which means I still don't have my CS degree just a couple of weeks before graduation. But somehow, this feels okay. Maybe it's the reassurance of knowing that I have plans after this semester, or the fact that my parents are blissfully unaware that any of this is happening. What made MIT meaningful wasn't the education. It was the moments spent with people who made even the most sleep-deprived days feel exciting. Memories don't come from simply going through the motions of life and hoping you'll remember what happens. They come from intentional, deliberate creation, the conscious effort to experience new things, the willingness to be uncomfortable with any decision you're making, and the enthusiastic acceptance of whatever life ends up giving you in return. Every moment presents us with a choice, some of which are inconsequential, and others that can drastically alter the course of our lives. These days, I remember almost nothing about the code I wrote for my CS classes. But I do remember the laughs I shared with friends after choosing to walk, instead of taking the shuttle, late at night across the Charles. The random arrangements we'd revisit at Cinco concert after parties after choosing to keep singing together instead of resting our tired voices. And the all-nighters I pulled after choosing to play games in the third floor lounge instead of studying for an exam the next day. It's these small decisions that truly shape the person you become. So make the most of them, and inspire yourself to take chances you'll one day be grateful for. MIT often felt as if it was overflowing with these choices, to the point of sometimes being too overwhelming. But I'm glad it gave me so many tools to build an unforgettable 4 years, shared with some of the most remarkable people in the entire world. Ultimately, I do hope I'm able to leave college with my CS degree. It really would make the pains of certain classes worth it in the end. I spent a lot of my senior year dealing with fear. Fear of eventually moving across the country away from some of my closest friends. Fear of leaving communities that have practically become family. And fear of hundreds of hours working on assignments not amounting to any diploma. Change is still terrifying. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't scared of potentially exiting such a big chapter of my life unfinished. But maybe fear is exactly what you should feel at times like these, because without it, you'll never be pushed to swim in a new pond, full of uncharted waters. For me, the meaning of IHTFP has changed numerous times. From eagerly counting down the days until the end of the semester, to reminiscing about where those days had gone, to bumping the registrar about my academic record every couple of weeks. It's surprising that the 5 letters I first heard during freshman year orientation have continued to sum up my time here, even up to this point. The whole idea is that by graduation, those letters should stand for I have truly found paradise, once you've taken the time to surround yourself with the academic interests, hobbies, and people that you love. But honestly, I really hope this isn't paradise, because I'd like to believe that college is just one step in the journey to actually getting there. And with that, I'm glad to say that finally, I have truly found peace.